Rene Griffith grew up in a sleepy little coastal town of Ogallie, Florida, during the happy days of the 1950s. Her father built and operated a gas station and had a bookkeeping and tax service just to make ends meet. Her mother raised their 8 children and helped run the gas station. Griffith dreamed of someday becoming an artist.
For me, abstract art tells more of a story, or tells many stories in one piece of art instead of representational art. So I used to be a representational painter, and I felt like, once the painting was finished and sold or given to someone, that it provided some joy and enjoyment. But with the abstract art, I feel like you almost can never see everything in the art. That, as the days and weeks and years go by and you still have this wonderful abstract piece in your home, that you look at it and see something new every time you walk by. I'm so honored to be a part of this exhibit because Ogallie is my hometown. And I grew up right here in Ogallie along with 7 other siblings. So I'm really, really pleased that I met the director of the museum, Ashley Milliken, and was invited to be a part of the show, which is the last show of the Foosaner.
The exhibition is called Abstraction, Retrospective Memories. It is a celebration of the 43 plus years of the Foosaner's life as the heart of the art community in the Brevard district.
I feel like my job as an abstract painter is to create a painting that would draw someone to want to see it more closely. And so whether it's across the room, whether it's in a gallery space, in a hotel lobby, you see this painting and you have to go and take a look at it more closely. Hello. My name's Rene Griffith. Welcome to my art studio. I'm so happy to have you here. So come on in. I want to show you what I'm working on right now. Come on in. It's wonderful to be able to use paint and collage material. And that collage material could be anything from old letters, postcards. I love taking from vintage magazines, journal entries, old stamps, all kinds of things like that that to me help tell the story. So I started painting. I took drawing classes, life drawing classes with a model, and ultimately went far away from representational art and decided that what really appealed to me was to express myself with abstract art. So, back then I started working with paint, and I was introduced to collage and the work of Kurt Schwitters with collage work. And I started incorporating collage into my work. This piece called Creamsicle Beach is the first piece in a series that I started specifically for the show here at the Foosaner Center. And the series is called Inner Landscapes. And it has to do with my childhood growing up here in O'Galley. My mother often would want to take us out somewhere to get some of the cool breezes on really hot days. So she would drive us over the Rickety Rackety Bridge, which is a wooden bridge that connected the mainland to the beach side. So often we would go to Canova Beach, and that's when I was really trying to show in this piece, was just the fun that we had as children, playing on the beach, looking for shells, and just enjoying being outside. This piece is also part of my Inner Landscape series, and it's called Playing on Coquina. So my mother would take us to this beach, and there were coquina ledges of rocks that were on the beach. And so again, I wanted to depict this whole idea of being on the beach, and these rocks out there, if you weren't careful, you know, you would get all scratched up as you were playing on the rocks. But when the tide went down, you could easily see the ridges of the rock. So this piece is called Dragon's Point, which was a really big landmark in this area. It's the southern tip of Merritt Island, and a place that we would go out and sail and enjoy the dragon that was out on the point. And of course, there was this huge fire-breathing dragon that someone built, and people loved to see it, especially 4th of July when the fire was coming out of the dragon. Continuing with my Inner Landscape series, I think these are really the most personal of the 8 pieces that are in the series so far. This piece is called For the Love of Books. My dad was a very avid reader, and he took all the kids to the library every Saturday. And ever since I was probably 5 years old, I was going to the library every week. And he taught us probably the most important education we could ever get, was really learning to read. We could learn anything in the world that we wanted to learn.
Artists, educators, and gallery owners were among the many attendees of the exhibition, and some spoke about Griffith's work.
So the energy of this piece makes me so excited about it. Whenever I look at it, my eye just moves all around it. If you really start looking at this, you will see so many layers of not only color, but other materials. So, to me, this piece is one of the happiest pieces I've seen in the show, because not only are you working with bubbling shapes, but you are also working with opposites on the color wheel, and you're working with so many different layers of energy to pull us into the piece. So it goes along with that whole theme of your inner child at play.
She did a very brave thing here. She has this dribble effect, which if I had gotten to the point where it was so beautiful, I would hesitate to put the dribbles in because you might destroy it. And we used to call this falling in love with an area. And if you get to a point where your composition is almost there and it's really nice, and you're afraid to attack it. But she wasn't afraid. That's very brave. And she also had the control to pull it down and let it dribble as a final layer. And it worked. Now, if it hadn't worked, she would have painted it out and put another layer on this, which it's just gutsy to keep doing it like that.
This wall happens to be one of my very favorites because it shows the range of work that Griffith is able to do. She not only does, like you can see her collage work, but then you can see the ones where it's mainly paint. And you can really see the range of her color choices. Almost every single one is represented in at least 1 to 2 of these pieces, while also showing how her pieces sometimes have matches. She does a lot of mini-series, and I think this wall really does accentuate that.
When I came in and saw this show, I was so excited because I haven't seen Rene lately, and I didn't know what her new work was. I knew she had done, along the way, our paths crossed, and I had seen her collages, but I hadn't seen these abstract paintings. And I've come back to the museum with different friends. I'm bringing them in. You've got to see this work because it's so exciting. And the other thing I think about this show that I like is each time I come to it, I see something different, and I see more, and I see more in depth. And so many paintings are done that you look at it and you go, that is fantastic, and then you walk by it and you don't ever need to look at it again. I think a really good painting like these are things you want to come back and keep finding something new.
It has a gentle feeling for me. It's a kind of feeling that you want to have in your house. You could pass this piece, I could have this piece in my house and see this piece every day for years and enjoy it. This is what I like about her work. You can get to know the work as it's with you. You can sort of, in a sense, establish a relationship with the artwork that's in your house. And the artwork is what adds the life to the house.
People sometimes are a little intimidated by abstract art, that they feel like it needs to be understood. And I'm not sure that it needs to be understood. I think it needs to just be enjoyed, much in the same way as music. And so I think of it in that way, that if you hear music that you're unfamiliar with, that maybe is in a foreign country, you don't really need to think about who wrote the lyrics, who was the composer, anything. You just enjoy it, and you have a good feeling listening to that particular kind of music. So I think abstract art is very similar, that you just enjoy seeing what's there. Sometimes people will see something that was not intended by the artist, but just enjoy it for art's sake. Thank you so much for coming and visiting me in my studio and seeing what I was working on. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you stay in touch.